Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series final matchup for Div C tonight. It's been quite an evening of games. You can see there on the ticker what's been going on tonight with Bancho taking out House of Ches, with Team Rectum falling to Winky Face, and Regen Red taking the game on Wood League. So we're going to go ahead and show you those quick updated stats here. But you may have noticed we have a double header with Bancho and Team Rectum tonight. So our current standings here, Bancho currently in that 8th place, and Team Rectum looks like they are out of the playoff contention currently, but Bancho could make it as far up as 5th place. They hold the tiebreaker on Calculated Throw, Winky Face, Wood League, and even potentially Zul'jin Distillery should they make enough points on Sunday to overtake Bancho. So they're going to get in the playoffs at this point as long as they get one map here, or if Zul'jin Distillery does not get 2 points. So one way or the other, they got to get a map is their feeling here tonight. Both teams are ready to go. They're probably a little bit tired. They've already completed 2 3-game matches. So I'm going to go ahead and ping them for a ready check, and let's get this going. While I wait for their response on the ready check, check out our Patreon. Please support NGS and check out those cool things you can get. What maps are banned? Forgot to ask them that. So the maps, I'll tell you in a second here, but we are going to Battlefield of Eternity. It looks like that was picked by Bancho. Go ahead and update that for us on the list. Maybe they'll tell me what maps are banned. They took care of that while we were waiting. Okay, so Sky Temple is going to be banned, as well as Dragonshire. So we won't see any dragons, and we won't see Luxoria tonight. There you go. So, if you are just joining us, that is my co-caster, Alice. Sometimes she gets a little feisty when I stretch or get up out of my chair, which is why she's going to go in the other room. And we're going to get this game going. It looks like both teams are ready. We're just waiting on somebody to hit the button. I thought they were ready. Let's get confirmation. So anyways, if you're just joining us, it is late night. 11:10 on the East Coast. That's okay. We don't mind. We're going to be up late. And we'll see if this is a 2 series or a 2-game series or a 3-game series. Maybe this goes into the next day. Narasaur, so that's the other team. There we go. We have both teams ready, so let's get into this first matchup on BOE, Battlefield of Eternity. Push the button. Oh my goodness, these guys. Let's go. I need that Murda. Can I do a Murda chat thing? Nope, I can't. That's unfortunate. I thought I could do that. Clearly, I need to re-up my sub to Murda so I get my "Let's Go" emoji. As we do get this draft started, so get the right music going on Battlefield of Eternity. And apparently I've got Volskaya going too. I need to turn that off. One moment. Alright, now we just have one music set. Battlefield of Eternity, the only 2-lane map in the map rotation currently, as we'll see a ban on Hanzo against Bancho. I don't think they're getting the message, guys. Let's see here. So, where's Bancho? There's Bancho. So Bancho banning out the Tyrande. And generally speaking, so Bancho likes their Johanna. It's one of their most picked heroes. Nubrak being another one that they like, and a Nubrak just being a very strong tank in general. With that Cocoon, he did get a slight bit of a nerf, but you know, nothing too crazy, nothing to prevent him from cocooning pretty much every single team fight. And the Kael'thas ban. Kael'thas is just, generally speaking, a very difficult hero to deal with if you're used to clumping together, focusing on one target, trying to get as much damage in there as you can. Kael'thas ruins your day. Makes it very difficult to accomplish that. And our first pick of the day is gonna be El Diablo by Old Dookie Tom. So Diablo, since his rework, this is a little bit easier for him to get off his, to rebuild his souls should he die. That was one of the big challenges for Diablo. Whether you go with that Fire Stomp or the Charge to get the additional souls that way, either way it'll work. As we get the Johanna Raynor, I believe I mentioned they'd probably pick Johanna, so good luck to them with that. And we get the Alexstrasza and the Phoenix. So Phoenix with the Lightning Breath Purification Salvo combo. Haven't seen it in a while, but this would be a place you could do that. You get the choke points, and all of a sudden, 2/3 of that team is already dead. And Jaina, go ahead and get pulled out of that because you get slowed, you add slows, you drop a blizzard on them, and, well, you're taking time in the graveyard. Third ban coming out for Team Rectum. And the final ban is going to be Stukov. They don't want to have that silence sitting underneath the Alexstrasza, or even potentially preventing Diablo from getting his breath off. Uberak and Stukov. Honda. Imperious. Imperious works really well with Diablo with that % damage. He can do like a quarter of his health just from the Valorous brand, and then accompanied by Li Ming. So we'll see. Blizzard, I hope you're watching. We're gonna find out if Li Ming goes with the Aetherwalker. And they should have banned Cho. Ban Cho did not get the memo. You got the Anubarak banned out. You got the Alexstrasza. Holy cow! Ban Cho getting the Cho pulled out from right underneath him. Wow, this is gonna get saucy. Battlefield Eternity, 2-lane map, so Cho does get the opportunity to get a little bit more value here. Give me 1 second, I gotta put these up so that you guys get the fancy little pop-ups. That's Cho, I believe, for Jesus, yeah. Then over here, Karazim, the final pick, he's gonna be selected there specifically for his 7-sided. Karazim, we got Li Ming in there? Nope, we don't. Ming. And Imperious. That's what I get for not getting this stuff done as we go. But the Cho 2-lane map makes it so that he's not, the loss of that body doesn't necessarily prevent them from losing soak. And the Lifebinder potential out of the Alexstrasza could bring, you know, just a huge amount of potential for the reset of Cho's health. So we'll see how they make this work as we go into game number 1 on Battlefield of Eternity. Alrighty. Right out of the gate, I clicked on Li Ming. You love to see it. So let's go ahead and start with our blue team. From Ban Cho, we have Quinal playing the Li Ming. We have Spice on the Karazim. Raynor is going to be played by Sluggadin. Shisui by is going to play the Johanna, and Bluestein in the off lane with the Imperius. And for Team Rectum, we've got Skits on the Phoenix. Diablo is going to be played by Old Dookie Tom. The Alexstrasza going to be played by Nindrasor. And then I'm going to have to pull up the thing so that I can remember what his name. We've got Cho being played by Jesus Mafia and Gaul being played by The Smell. And we're gonna have some interesting builds here, I imagine, with the Cho taking the increased healing on his level 1 talent here. So 4 members in the bot lane from both teams. Diablo going against Imperius. I expect that's going to be a tough matchup for Diablo, but we'll see how that turns out. But down in this bot lane, the Alexstrasza W is being a percentage-based heal. I believe the only healer that has a percentage-based heal, other than Lucio's 16, is going to bring just huge value to this 2-man body on the table here. Raynor taking the Exterminator, so he is going to get that boost in race value. I think the race, based on what we've got, probably is going to go over in favor of Ban Cho. We'll see how it turns out, as Cho does get pretty low here. He's at half. He's getting some AoE healing from that W from Alexstrasza, so he'll stay alive. But significant damage coming out of Ban Cho onto the Cho. Oh, I'm going to mess that up sometime, I just bet. As he's trying to get back into that heal, he will make it. And Cho, as a reminder, when he's in the orange like he is now, gets 25 armor, you can see. When he goes into Mage, he gets a 25 spell power boost. That specifically helps out the Gaul. And Li Ming's going to go ahead and work on that structure damage there, get this sidewall down, so later in the game, if they take the... yeah, I don't remember the name of it. We'll come back to that. Anyways, if they take the pull from Cho, then they've got a way to get out. Check out this top lane. Look at the damage. Bluestein down 2/3 of his health, as Diablo is pretty low as well, but Bluestein's going to charge in, get the stun. Diablo's going to flip. 8 health. Is he going to make it out? Oh, does Diablo even have enough mana? He makes it out with 8 single digits, ladies and gentlemen. And he's going to get back up here because he doesn't want to lose this soak. But he's still in danger. That one Fire Stomp could have killed him if only there was more mana. And not unexpected, we do see the bombs away coming out for the Gaul to help with the bomb damage. And Cho and Gaul are just going to scale in this match. And the later you get, once you hit that 16, it's going to be a very difficult time for Ban Cho to deal with that issue. And one camp taken by Ban Cho to make sure that they can get some map pressure as this race is started. And Johanna's coming down here to slow down what she can. It does slightly go over in favor of Ban Cho, which I somewhat expected between that Kharazim and Raynor. Kharazim going for the damage ult. I'm sorry, the damage level 1 rather. And so Rectum, identifying this, is coming in to get this fight. They want to push them back because they don't want to just drop this Immortal. Cho's going to go ahead and dive in as Alexstrasza is in the back here with Kharazim chasing her, only at half. And keep in mind that Alexstrasza, her Qs are that's how she heals a significant amount. She's going to go ahead and pop Dragon Form, get that big W out, so she is back up to 2/3, but they weren't able to really zone them out from getting the damage on the Immortal, so it's going to go. Alexstrasza's in trouble, and she goes down as Kharazim will dive in and finish the job. Even Cho now down to about 30%, so he's got to be careful as the charge goes in on Diablo. Diablo's going to charge in now on Li Ming, but Li Ming does make it out with about 25% of her health. She's not going to have any mana, though, so this team is a little bit light on damage to push with the Immortal. But Cho'Gall is up there. He's ready to get this damage out there on the Immortal, get it down. It's got about 10% of its health, its shield left. And Blind coming out, there's, they don't have a whole lot of auto attack damage, but it slows it down just slightly. The bomb hitting a couple of members of Ban Cho there, the Rune Bomb. And they are still at half health, so they've got to be careful. This Immortal's about to die. And in that positioning up here in the top, Diablo, if he just steps forward a little bit, could get a charge onto them and suddenly delete one of those DPS. But ultimately, they will finish about half of this first fort, and in the bot lane, Phoenix and Imperius, probably a little bit more favorable for Phoenix, as long as he can avoid those celestial charges. Up here in the top, Team Rectum is going to go ahead and push in on this camp. It is still a 4v4, so this is a little bit dangerous. Diablo's going to get the flip onto Raynor, but he's going to end up punished for that, go down. This camp is currently active, but both of Cho'Gall and Alexstrasza very low. The W will keep them up. That was a very well-placed W, but unfortunately Alexstrasza will go down to the Li Ming. And just as a reminder, I asked if we'd get Aetherwalker. We did not. We got the Force Armor for that Spell Armor. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and put that away for now. So this top camp now is going to be able to push this top lane, and if they don't come up here and deal with it, it's going to get this fort. Seven's online for both teams now. We'll take a look at what those are here. Bancho with the cheeky invade, getting the Shaman camp since they know that everybody's pushed back and away. And that's going to get them this first fort of the game. Bancho taking the first fort. Rectum knows that they've got a later game comp. They've got this combination between potentially that Lightning Breath and Purification Salvo. And then, of course, the scaling of the Cho'Gall himself. So they just have to stay in the game. If they can stay in the game, then they certainly have a chance at just taking every team fight. They get silences, potentially, or stuns, probably the silences. And Diablo is just gonna become a menace. And Bancho does not want to let them have that. They want to make sure that they get these structure downs. They want to structures down. They want to get this immortal. They're already at halftime. This race is unbelievable between that Li Ming, and we did see that she did take Seeker, which is additional single target damage onto these immortals, in addition to the Charge Blast to cause some additional damage just from auto attacks on them when you hit them. So they're 100% going into the race, trying to get this match over before that Cho'Gall becomes just a menace. And here are level 10s for Bancho. We're going to see the Raynor's Raider. We're going to see the seven-sided, expected, Blessed Shield. There's the Disintegrate. And I almost expect Wrath of the Angiris, maybe? And there it goes. So they are going to look to take one of those heroes, pull them back, try to isolate them, and then just obliterate them. Taking something like the the Diablo Charge Kharazim or the Stitches Hook Kharazim, and ultimately isolating that hero and blowing up with that seven-sided. And this is probably just a dead fort. You've got a nearly full immortal. You've got 4 members of Bancho here to deal with it. You're not soaking top lane, so you're not getting that XP to push to 10. The immortal's now still half shield. This is likely at least going to be wall, and if Rectum doesn't get level 10 before this breaks the wall down, it may very well even be keep. So we do see Phoenix getting up here in the top lane, trying to push back and soak as much XP as they can. They are just about 10. That wall goes down, but this is still a healthy immortal. The stun's going to go out, hit Cho. He's going to go ahead and pop the Shadow Fisher, and there goes the upheaval, pulls in half the team there. Disintegrate's going out, trying to get resets. They will get Raynor goes down from that upheaval, and the Purification Salvo goes out, but does not end up finishing the job. But this immortal gets this first keep down to roughly about 40% health. And Imperius is still up here. Imperius has been soaking this lane, getting some pressure. This top wall already gone. Gonna get a little bit of this first keep damage. So just as a real quick overview, we do see the Twisting Nether, Purification Salvo, the Cleansing Flame, the APOC. I'm a little bit surprised to see the APOC. That puts a lot of stress onto the Phoenix to get to proc the slows. I don't believe Cho and Gall have slows themselves, so either Salvo or Alexstrasza slows out of her E are really the only slows that you've got to get the full benefit. Unfortunately, I think that was a misplay on their part, but we'll see. Bancho looking to come in here. They're pretty confident that most of these ults are down, but they got to be careful of that upheaval. But with this camp, they want to try to get this keep down. Once again, trying to push their 13 advantage and get whatever value they can before that 16. The Rune Bomb's going to hit, so they're stacked up to 24 now on that. The new max of 40, of course. Karazoom's going to go ahead and get a 7 stride to get a lot of damage on the Diablo, but not finish it. The upheaval on the Rainer, along with the Twisting Nether, and he will go down to that full damage, but the APOC goes out, hits Spice, the Unstoppable coming from Johanna, and in the backline, it looks like Spice is going to go down as Rectum will turn this fight around, push them back, save their keep potentially, unless those minions keep going, and they're going to chase Johanna. Johanna, I don't know if you kill her, Cho'Gall. Now, if you get the Celestial Charge coming out of the Imperius, though, with that percent damage, Imperius a big positive pickup. They didn't even know that it was coming, but a huge value there between that Cho'Gall and Diablo. Pretty much the probably two out of the 3 heroes with the most health. I think Stitches with his new talent can maybe exceed that. Diablo's going to charge in on the Li Ming, get a stun, will not be able to kill her, but there goes the Cleansing Flame that does complete that job. And now Diablo is maybe in a little bit of trouble, as apparently Cho'Gall died. I was so focused on Li Ming. Diablo is going to end up going down here. Looks like the Wrath of Angiris is going to... well, okay, he had more health when he came down than when he started. Fair enough. Alexstrasza trying to help Diablo, unfortunately, did anything but. As she goes down as well. And Phoenix will get away. He'll warp out of this and come back, try to clear up this lane, get the soak that they need to try to push for 16. These catapults coming up here, they got another 10 or 15% off this top keep. The Immortal will go in the top keep lane, and they're going to get this Shaman camp to get whatever value they can, full value out of this push. While they're pushing top lane, they'll have this Shaman camp pushing in the bot lane, and they can slow play this at this point because they have all their forts up. They've got catapults going in. This is Ban Cho's opportunity here to push back. Diablo's going to charge in on the Li Ming and get the stun, but she'll walk away. And Imperius, who's at half health, is going to get out. The upheaval hitting nobody, but the Twisting Nether will hit Johanna, but her Iron Skin will prevent any damage. There's the APOC. It's going to hit 2 members of Ban Cho. Bluestein's got to get out as Diablo gets obliterated there. And now Cho himself going down to the Rainer and teleport from Li Ming. Now Alex has to use her Cleansing Flame just to try to keep Phoenix alive and to escape, because she was in, and she posts rather aggressively into a 5-man and pays for it as Li Ming sharking around on the backside and gets that Seeker charge right onto that dragon. That's a big body. And this Shaman camp did manage to take down this bottom keep, so now there's going to be constant catapult pressure here. It did get killed, so it's no longer pushing on the core, but now you've got a nearly full shielded Immortal coming into this top keep, which is already at half health. You've got almost everybody up. Alexstrasza will be up here shortly. None of your ults are up. You only have Upheaval. If you can find a good way to isolate a target with that, great, but I don't know. Diablo's going to get in. He's going to charge in on Bluestein with that Imperius, but he's going to pay for it. He's going to die to all of that burst damage coming from the other side. And the Wrath of Angiris goes out on the Cho, pulls him back into the group. He's going to get booped away thanks to that shove, but even still, the 7-sided will finish Cho'Gall off, and it looks like game 1 is going to go over to Ban Cho. Well done. That was a very good identification of what they needed to do to win. They needed those points on the board. They needed to prevent Rectum from getting high in that game. Once they got to level 16, that game goes the other direction very easily. So good on them for identifying their win conditions and preventing Rectum's comp from fully coming online. 14 kills to 4. Sometimes the kills don't really seem to match what you see on the screen, but in this case, they pretty much did. It went pretty well along the lines of those kills. So nothing too exciting out of the builds here that I'm seeing. Mostly, you know, again, that slight variation for Li Ming to focus that immortal damage. Instead of acing the hole, going with that exterminator, again, identifying that the immortal was their key to victory here. On the side of Team Rectum, you know, Alexstrasza going for the Q build, really focusing on trying to keep her front line alive. And mostly into the W build. I still think that the fire, the lightning breath, would have been the better choice here. But I don't know if that would have been enough. You know, that would have given him some more damage, but Diablo got himself pretty well obliterated a few times there. So, you know, again, good on Bancho for identifying that and really focusing down the team. Phoenix, did Phoenix ever die? No, Phoenix, the one member of their team that made it away, but he's also the one that has the escape. So, what does that do to our standings? So, Bancho now taking a step up over Wood League because, again, they hold the tiebreaker over each of these teams. So that will put them into 7th position, and Wood League now dropping down to 8th. And I would like to update that. Let's go ahead and do that right here. So Bancho got another point. That puts them up there. And now, voila, Bancho taking a step up the ladder to number 7th. Should they lose the next 2 games, Bancho will be playing against Regen Red. Regen Red and Bancho just played 2 days ago. In that match, it was 2-0, Regen over Bancho. Now, if they take yet another game, if they win this next one, they will go all the way up to 18 points and be in 5th place, and they'll be fighting against, at that point, UARC Esports. And in that match, in their history there, Bancho, I believe, lost to UARC. Yes, they did lose to UARC. So if, however, they lose this next match and win the match after, because we have nothing better to do while we wait for this next map, they will supersede Winky Face, play against Almost Legends. And Almost Legends for Bancho was also a 2-0. So in any case, no matter who they go against at this point, Bancho is looking at a team that defeated them 2-0. So whether it's Regen Red, Almost Legends, or UARC Esports, they've got a pretty heavy road ahead of them. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and go to the Patreon just because I can, and then I'm going to give you guys some music for a moment. So we'll go back to that front page and until we get our map, and we'll be back in a moment or two. Alrighty, so we do have our next map pick. We are going to go to Towers of Doom. And this map was selected by Ban Cho as Team Rectum, elected for first pick. So we'll go ahead and get into the draft here. Both teams are all set and ready to go. We'll see if we can get them to hit that button a little bit sooner this time. Because as much as I love talking to myself, you know, also have to listen to myself. Here we go. Let's fix the music, get it right this time so you're not listening to two at the same time. And here we go with the Towers of Doom music. Alright, let's see. So last game, our first ban was Hanzo coming out of the Team Rectum. Hanzo being a hero that Ban Cho, I don't think ever played. So they were just really wanting to make sure that they didn't pick that hero. Sometimes you just have to accept that they might play a hero and you don't know it. We found that out tonight. The first ban gonna be Stukov. So Stukov was their third ban last time, so clearly they don't want to deal with any of that. And let's see. Let's pull this up. There we go. First ban last time was Tyrande for Ban Cho. They're going to go ahead and leapfrog to Kael'thas. And second was Anub'arak. Now, maybe that was to get rid of the Anub'arak so that they could play Cho'Gall, because, of course, Cho'Gall being the instant direct counter. I'm sorry, the Anub'arak being the instant direct counter to Cho'Gall. Now, Stukov is also another healer that Ban Cho hadn't really ever played, so kind of surprised. I'm not sure that they spent a whole lot of time checking out Ban Cho, because they're banning heroes that they don't really ever play. But it is a doubleheader, so they had a lot going on their plate tonight. Diablo being a hero that Ban Cho has played, and then the Genji. Now, if you're wondering why I'm talking so much about what Ban Cho's played, it's only because of the fact that we just played them two days ago, so I have stats about them, whereas Team Rectum, we played them in the second week, and unfortunately I don't have so many stats for them. So Bluestein gonna rip that Tyrande in answer to the Anub'arak. And then the Johanna. So once again, the Johanna fully expected. They love their Johanna. She's their most played hero, if I remember correctly. And they play her well, so no real surprises there. Now, Bluestein was on Imperious. They didn't change anybody, I mean, did they? Bluestein, Shisui, Sluggo, Spice. Went all. Nope, they didn't. Okay. And then we've got the Rexxar Malfurion. So lots of CC coming out for Team Rectum. Now, so they've got their CC online. They just need to pair it up, perhaps, with a little bit of DPS. And Dahaka being banned out. A little bit surprised. I'm not sure that they would have gone into that triple frontline like that. But maybe. Seems like it would be asking for trouble, but let's see. To smell. Gonna be playing that Rexxar. Okay. But then again, Narasaur was on the Alex Straza, so they're just bouncing all over the place. And banning out the Li Ming and the Dahaka here, so not a real surprise. Li Ming did do a lot of damage that game. She was just a terror. Sluggo's gonna pick up that Jaina. And Spice picking up the Imperious. I have the feeling these guys are gonna switch people around on me at the last second. But we'll see. We'll see. So we now have Jesus Mafia, who played Cho, and old Dookie Tom, who played Diablo. Looks like they're gonna be flexing around on their heroes a little bit, just as Ban Cho did as well. Kerrigan going over to Jesus Mafia. And Zul'jin for old Dookie Tom. So they did get plenty of damage. They also added to their stun chain. So they've got stun after another stun after root after stun. A pull in, the slows from the boars, a web, and all of that front line to protect that Zul'jin in the back line. Quinal finishing up the draft with the Junkrat. And at least so far, nobody's switching around, which is good, because that would be a pain in the neck to have to switch all of these people around. But here are your teams. So we've got the Johanna with the potential for the Blessed Shield ring combination. Junkrat with lots of displacement with that front line could really just be a constant nuisance to them. But then you've got this significant CC stun chain. So if they try to put that into that Johanna, she's just going to use that Iron Skin and walk away. Tyrande could take the cleanse, which gives them 2 cleanses, essentially, on a 12 or so second cooldown, reduced by auto attacks. So she's going to have to put herself a little bit into danger to get those significantly, but we'll see how this goes. So here we go on to game number 2, Towers of Doom. And on the left, we have Shusui on the Johanna. Quinal is going to play the Junkrat, Sluggaden the Jaina, Bluestein on the Tyrande, and Spice now in the solo lane on Imperius. This is Bayan Cho. And for Team Rectum, we've got Narasora on the Anubarak, getting a little spray action out of old Dookie Tom on the Zul'jin. Smell's going to play Misha and her favorite pet Rexar. Who did I miss? Skits is going to be playing that Malfurion, and Jesus Mafia rounding out Team Rectum with the Kerrigan. And look at that Skinergy. Let's go a little bit higher here because people are going all over the place. So Misha's going to go ahead and dive in. She's going to get chunked down a little bit as the Imperius charges in on the Kerrigan, but the Junkrat boop will knock her behind. She's going to leap away onto the Johanna, and Johanna's going to pop Iron Skin and walk away here. So no significant challenges there, and just a little bit of stacks on the You Want Axe coming out of the Zul'jin, and of course he's taken that Headhunter build so that he can get that additional range and ultimately some additional damage too. 2% per hero, finalizing at 10%. And in the top lane, we've got the Misha Rexar versus Imperius, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Imperius not going to do well if he's just going to run around the Misha, but if he can get in on that Rexar, could be a problem. But here comes Kerrigan, and the Misha stun's going to get him. Kerrigan's going to pull him back into her stun and gets that combo for the first blood of the game. Zul'jin looking to get stacks in this game. The earlier he gets stacks, the sooner he gets his additional range and double cleave. And Quinal on the Junkrat going to go ahead and work on this first camp, this bottom sapper camp on Towers of Doom. Bottom lane is your key to victory. It gives you extra points. It makes it very difficult to deal with 2 separate altars. Definitely that bottom altar. And it's in many cases better to deal with that than the boss. You can get more points out of holding that bot lane than taking the boss in many cases. So that first camp is taken by Junkrat, and he knows that Malfurion and Kerrigan are over here. Now Zul'jin coming in, and he's going to just poke at him, just cause a little bit of awareness that he's there. And look at this, we've got Animal Husbandry coming out of the Rexar. A bold choice considering he was at half health just a few moments ago against this Imperius. We'll see how this turns out for him. And we are seeing the shield build coming out of Anubarak. Anything else? What else have we got here? A little bit of damage coming from the Johanna Glare, the blinding trait here. And of course the Valorous Brand focus for Imperius. A little bit of damage, couple of stuns going out as we've got 4v4 at this bottom altar, excuse me. A whole bunch of damage going into Team Rectum and Malfurion trying to keep up. as Jaina's going to get the Blizzard onto Zul'jin as he's trying to take that front line, but they're all under half. These two top altars, nobody's getting them. They just don't seem to care about them right now. This fight bot lane is the only thing that matters, and Bancho has the advantage overall as the stun lands on Zul'jin, preventing him from healing himself. They're full health, and it looks like both in the top lane will get those altars now, so they'll be coming down to help, maybe. But old Dookie Tom on the Zul'jin is going to get caught and goes down. Johanna pops her Iron Skin, but there's the concussion mine from the Junkrat. The Tyrande stun onto the Kerrigan will finish that job as well. And now Malfurion and Nubarak ultimately pulling back, but Nubarak's just trying to see if he could get a beetle in there, slow things down a little bit. But Malfurion coming back in. It's not worth it, buddy. It's the first altar. There's plenty of time in this game. This is the comeback map. Nubarak diving in? No, he clearly got concussion mined. Never mind. He got pulled back, and they filled his health bar with damage. Do we even have any of you out there? Is anybody? Oh, there's 10. Guys, you're so quiet. Speak up. Say something. Choose a talent. All right. So new talents coming out for level 7 for Bancho. And we do see, interestingly enough, Arcane Intellect and Fingers of Frost. So Jaina does not want to lose mana ever. She did take this Ice Lance to reduce the cooldown on her Q, but again, also reducing that mana. So Jaina will have mana for the rest of this game. She's only at 2,600 on her chill stacks, though, so maybe a little bit behind what she ideally would be, but we'll see how that progresses. Bancho's going to go ahead and pick up their camp. Get that pressure continued in the bot lane as Junkrat's gonna not get stunned, but he does get pulled in. And here comes Bancho looking to finish off Kerrigan, make her pay for that. But Anubarak's gonna get the stun onto Junkrat. He's gonna boop Anubarak over that wall, which will probably save him. And now Zul'jin paying for it in the back with all of this burst damage and the stun out of Johanna. Johanna's gonna slow the Anubarak, but he's gonna pop that W, get that race car build going. And Anubarak and Malfurion will make it away. As Zul'jin and Kerrigan, their damage, both take a free ride to the graveyard. And with that, Bancho taking this aggressive camp. They are going to get it. Anubarak's going to dive in. He has no idea how much trouble he just put himself in. And there goes Malfurion offline. We'll see if we get a pause out of this. As Kerrigan jumps in, just bouncing all over the place. And Malfurion's back. But there goes Tyrande and Jaina with the root zoning him out. Iron Skin popped on Johanna as the team is pushing after Junkrat, and the Kerrigan combo misses Johanna, but she's not going to come in and try to delay this, as 3 for 0 in favor of Team Rectum on that fight. So apparently that dive in was the right thing to do. It looked scary. They were surrounded entirely by blue health bars there. But ultimately, it was the blue ones that died. To Smell going to come up here. Look at this wave. That's so much XP. That's probably level 10 right there. Let's take a look at what we've got on our level 10 talents, shall we? Chusui getting stunned out here. If he doesn't have Iron Skin, which he does, but he's going to pull them all together, try to get that big condemn out there. The Blessed Shield it has gone out, and Malfurion's going to get obliterated by the Imperious. And Johanna's going to finish that Zul'jin. Here comes Imperious out of the web now. Not Kael'thas. Kael'thas isn't in this game. Kerrigan, the other K, was finished off there as well. So in response to the 3-0 that they just had, now they got an 0-3. This time in favor of Bancho. And Bancho taking full advantage of this 3-0 kill streak here, as they will get significant damage on the fort, and Anubarak staying way too long trying to help his fort, but he goes down thanks to that Tyrande, Jaina, Johanna combo, as they will get this fort. They're not leaving until they get it, and this bottom altar is coming up now, and this is exactly what I was mentioning a few minutes ago. Now that this bottom altar's up, it's very difficult for red team to back out because they have no escape. Johanna's pushing in, she pops the Blessed Shield, brings in the Condemn. Zul'jin is barely making it alive. Nope, he doesn't. The stun from Kerrigan almost making it, and the concussion mine nearly killing Malfurion, but they're really sharking around trying to get that Kerrigan, who has all of 60 health. Anubrak dives in on the Junkrat, and Jaina trying to help to peel that, but does get webbed as Bluestein trying to help get him out. And there's the Misha getting the stun, no, misses the stun on the Jaina as Imperius will charge in on Misha, and Misha goes down. We do have 3 Pumpkin Sappers here, so they're trying to get this through as Anubrak goes down. Takes blizzard damage all over the place and gets finished by that Jaina, as I believe that was 3 Pumpkin Sappers. Yes, 3 Pumpkin Sappers made it across that line and finished their journey to the enemy core. So 32-20 in favor of Ban Cho at the moment, and they are now taking this aggressive camp, looking to get 3 more points, as Rexar is trying to keep them in the soak game here. Pardon me, I need a glass of water. Concussion Mine goes out trying to catch somebody. Only got a couple minions, but just a reminder to this team that he can do that, as it's now a 4v4 in the bot lane. Anubrak will burrow out as the stun will land on Malfurion. The Blessed Shield goes out, Condemn as well, and Junkrat will be able to finish off that Malfurion. The Pumpkin Sappers do go down, as Anubrak will get the web onto Jaina. They don't have a tower here, so they have to be very careful how far they push in. Johanna comes out as the Condemn gets both Zul'jin and Anubrak. The Concussion Mine in the back looking for something, but Junkrat gets pulled in by the Kerrigan and comboed with that Anubrak burrow. He almost gets hit by that Lunar Flare. And apparently Imperius made that animal husbandry talent completely worthless. He said, I do % damage, I don't care about your health. And looking to get this bottom fort down. I don't know. This is they should be going on this altar. They're just giving away free points at this point. Yes, that's one less point that they get, but you could have pushed that in. You knew that Imperius was in the top lane. You had a 4v3, but not this time. Ban Cho looking to get their defensive camp and looking to push that bot lane back, get this bottom tower, and keep that pressure up on now 32-16. Imperius in the top lane here once again is finishing up this camp, getting what pressure he can. Junkrat almost sneaking that Malfurion. That would have been devastating. However, Tyrande lands a stun, the zoning route, but it's not enough as Jaina finishes the job. Here comes the Riptire, almost killing Zul'jin as he pops the Taz Dingo. And here's Anubrak going down to the Jaina, as now Kerrigan is the next target. She does get a stun onto 2 members of Ban Cho, but they will be able to walk out, and now with this half health fort, they're going to go ahead and bring this back to the blue side. And Imperius got very low here thanks to that Rexar, but so did Rexar. Rexar sitting at half health. They did miss that hearth, so Jesus Mafia just anchoring for that low health Rexar, making sure that he's safe, and potentially positioning for this aggressive altar. And she does find the Imperius, but Imperius is full health and you're not, so that's a very difficult thing to watch. There goes another Pumpkin Sapper in the bot lane here, and add another one to the mix. 2 actually, in fact. This is a triple altar, so we're gonna go ahead and watch this top lane as Johanna's gonna grab the bot lane. That's gonna be 5 more points for them. Rexar is gonna get the 3. The web going on to the Imperius, and here they come in on Sluggaden with the Jaina. They do get the Kerrigan combo, but she ice blocks out of it, and Junkrat to save the day eliminates that Kerrigan. Here's the Angelic Armaments coming out from Spice, trying to keep himself alive and get some damage out of this. Does get the Celestial Charge onto the Nubarak, rooted in response. Zul'jin at no health pops the Taz Dingo, but he will go down to that Tyrande. And here comes the rest of Ban Cho. It's now a 5 versus 3, and Rectum has got to get out of here. They popped the zoning root, but Iron Skin used to keep things moving, and now they're going to turn to this boss. This boss ends the game, folks. If you're Team Rectum, you have to be paying attention to this. here they go trying to get their tap, but Malfurion taking the long way. Anubarak too late. It looks like this is going to be the end if he doesn't get that Mishon, which he did. He get the full stun. We get the charge in. Here comes the Riptires knocking everybody out. Cleave coming out from Imperius. More damage. There's the blind. Sluggo staying on the point. He still has the Iron Skin, and they will close this out in a fairly dominant fashion. 23 kills to 6. That was a fantastic stun, and nearly managed to pull off that reverse boss steal. But unfortunately, just too much damage between that Jaina and the Junkrat with the boops that made them go other places. The thing that does the thing, you know? So well done. So we do see here, just quick stats, Junkrat being that top damage, and 20k almost above the Zul'jin. I'm going to take a look at the talents here. I'm not sure that Zul'jin finished that quest. I don't think that he did. Either his level 1 or the level or the baseline quest either. So let's see if one of these guys wants to come in and chat with us. And while we're doing that, why don't we go ahead and hop over to a lobby and update these standings while we're waiting on Bluestein or somebody else from his team. His or her, I'm assuming it's his. I think it's his. Let's see. So we've got that one went over to blue team. Update that. Let's get these standings showing here. And Cho gets 2 more points for that domination. And that will bump them up into 5th place. 6, 7. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Ban Cho overtaking that 5th spot, bumping Calculated Throw down to 6th. Winky Face now in 7th. Wood League in 8th. And this Sunday, Zul'jin Distillery will be playing against House of Ches. And if Zul'jin Distillery can pull off a 2-0 victory over House of Ches, that will put them ahead of Wood League. And Wood League will be sitting out this playoff season. Alrighty, let's see. E1 NGS. Let's go to our interview tab. Oh, not that one. That's right, there we go. And we should be seeing somebody from Banjo coming over to join us any moment now. While we're waiting on that, let's go back, take a look at the maps that we got to visit. We went to BOE in the first game. That was picked by Bancho, won by Bancho. And Towers of Doom also picked by Bancho, won by Bancho. I have to say that I like the synergy going on here with the map selections around that central point. Oh, hey, you're here.
Hey.
I was just going to keep talking all night until you said something. By all means, congratulations. You know, I'm kind of glad that I get to talk to you after our match the other day. And here you go, 2-0 tonight against Rektum, and 2-1 against who was the other team you played? Was it House of Ches?
Yeah, it was House of Ches. Yeah.
So you got to be tired, right?
Yeah, a little mentally drained. Yeah.
So congratulations. Do you know where that puts you in the standings?
I believe it's either somewhere 5th or 6th, I think.
So that puts you in 5th position because you have the tiebreaker over Calculated Throw.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
In fact, you have tiebreakers over everybody below you. So I guess that means that you're exactly where you should be, right?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So how's your team feeling? So you had a doubleheader tonight. These were really important matches that brought you from, I believe you started in at the night at ninth position and pole vaulted you all the way up to fifth. How are you guys feeling after that?
Pretty good. Like we knew obviously that those games were pretty important for us, so it's good to get those like meaningful matches in just before the playoffs. You kind of don't want to play those like slacker games that don't really mean too much and just get into a bad place. So it's good that they were meaningful and competitive. So that yeah, we came into it with a mindset to go all out.
Well, good deal. I definitely noticed that you guys got some of your comfort picks with those basically first round pick Johannas on each round. I wasn't surprised. I think Rekt might have been a little bit surprised because their bands didn't really seem to reflect pretty much anything that you guys play. Am I correct?
Um,
For the most part, Hanzo, Anubarak, Stukov, and Diablo Li Ming. So obviously the Li Ming countering that first, and maybe that Anubarak was specifically because of that little cheeky thing. We're going to come back to that, but like, am I missing something there? Was there something I didn't catch when I was checking you guys out?
no, I think at least they're heroes that are involved, like in our rotation if we can get them. Like obviously, a Nub is in a pretty good place right now. Stukov, we get in there. We're not shy to play Stukov either. It did seem more like they were banning heroes that they wanted to not play, which is it's a strategy on its own as well. Like obviously, if there's someone that who's pretty powerful on a map, or you just feel like your team comp isn't good against, and then that's one way to get around it. So yeah, there wasn't specific targets. Obviously, like Joanna, someone that we've seen banned a lot. And just in our games in general, I think through Division C, her participation is pretty high. So yeah, either she's played or banned, so she just doesn't get too far past the first round there.
That's absolutely true. She is banned against you guys a pretty significant amount. You play her a lot. I don't recall if you played her in our match. I suppose I could look it up if I really wanted to. But just from aside from our match, that is your 10th game on Johanna and 9-1. So obviously a very valuable hero for you guys. And you played her well. She really brings a brick wall and a lot of potential for CC, and you guys were able to run them down multiple times to finish those kills. So a really staple part of your core mechanic of your build there for your team. So on that note, let's talk about that game one draft. So did you see that coming?
Not really. You know, I guess we were able to get like one reactionary pick out of it there with Karazim. Um, Other than that, I guess when you got a team who's got nothing to lose, and they're just playing for pride and for bragging rights, so they had an opportunity to do really whatever they wanted, and yeah, that kind of caught us off guard there, but it comes with the territory, I guess, of having our team name. So it's not the first time that someone's busted out a choke all against us in the last minute.
And that doesn't surprise me that would happen, on the regular, so to speak. So is Cho'Gall a hero that, and I don't think you guys have played her in this recent season at least, but is that a hero that you guys play, or is that really just a meme that you thought you'd put together?
Yeah, it's just more of like a team meme more than anything. I think last season we actually ended up facing Cho'Gall like a number of times. I think Calculated Throw threw him against us, if I'm not mistaken. At least 3 or 4 matches last season. So maybe we did well enough there that people didn't want to go back.
That's fair. And so when they picked that Cho'Gall, and you guys ultimately then picked that Karazim, you obviously had a significant boost in the race over them. What was your plan going into that? Your comp versus their comp. What was your discussion as that map was loading as to how you win this game?
We felt like we still had an advantage on the objective, and if it came down to a race, we thought that we could probably win that, even if it went head to head. Also, even if it came down to a defense, like they had some big bodies on the map. So like with Cho'Gath and Diablo, we felt confident that if it came down to a defense and they wanted to push into us, that it's going to be tough for them to dodge those objective stuns that are like randomly being placed. And we had some good CC to keep them around. So we felt like we could at the very worst like dictate how that map was going to play out, whether we wanted to defend or attack. And then yeah, with Imperius and the brands doing like you can talent into bonus damage against HP, so we felt pretty confident going against them.
Yeah, and I made mention of that too. That that Imperius with that level 1 talent into a Diablo and Cho was just gonna get so much value, especially with that cleave as well. And you did, right? You pushed that game hard, and made sure that their comp couldn't come online at that level 16, and they never got that chance. So good job on that.
Thanks. Yeah, and Li Meng too. Like it's easier for her to hit all those orbs and all her skill shots against those big bodies. So yeah, that played a big part as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which is obviously a contributing factor as to why they banned her in game 2. Those the Seeker and what is it, charged shots or something like that, that level 4 providing even more value into your race than you had just with the Exterminator,
Mm-hmm.
and just doing so much damage. Of course, Karazim going into the damage trait at level 1 as well. So you really did have a huge advantage on the race, and just didn't give them the opportunity to come back into it. I've got one more question for you that is somewhat relevant, and then I got one question for you that's a little bit different. So there was some conversation the other day. I don't remember where it was. It may have been in chat. It may have been on a stream or something. But what is the significance of your logo?
Oh, the squid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, that's just kind of like a team internal thing too. I honestly have no idea where it came from, but instead of like squatting up, the guys would call it squidding up, and then once we got the name Bancho, and it all kind of came together with the squid and the Cyclops eye, which is funny because we were like just talking about that earlier today about like what a random and like pointless logo that ended up becoming, but we've stuck with it.
Fair enough. I made the assumption that it was something related to the like shadow cult or whatever that Cho became part of, the Twilight, whatever the heck, and part of the old gods and all that stuff. I just assumed it was related to that, but it was a little bit funky of a design, so I wasn't sure. But fair enough. Random works, right? So
Yeah.
my last question for you for the evening, and then I'll let you get some sleep because clearly I need it. The last question I ask everybody is simply, what's your favorite hero to play? Not necessarily your best hero to play, and not necessarily one that you would play in NGS, but what do you enjoy playing when you're just going to play the memes?
I'd say probably my favorite hero is going to be Tyrande, just because when she was god awful for so long, I think my team hated me so much for busting her out like over and over again, and I'm just really happy she's in a viable place right now. But so yeah, that's got to be my go-to, I think.
Fair enough. Well, and you played her remarkably well. I can't tell you the number of the times that I said, and there's the Tyrande stun, and they're trying to get away, but there's the Tyrande stun, and there's another Tyrande stun, and there's another, like, it, half the stream was, and they're stunned by Tyrande, right? They had all the stuns on their team, but somehow you managed to land them all. So well done on that. I do also just want to say, you guys switched around on the roles a little bit there, and it looked like Rectum did a little bit of that too. But that's one thing I noticed about you guys, is that you play a lot of heroes and you flex around a little bit. I'm assuming based on what's comfortable for the map and for the team. So that gives you guys a lot of flexibility, and it shows. It gave you that opportunity to climb up all the way to 5th place. So congratulations on getting up there. As part of your shoutouts, I'm just gonna have you mention one other thing, because of course you're going to be playing against UARC Esports. Now, you hold the tiebreaker over all of those teams underneath you. All of the teams above you, with the exception of the Found Vikings, which, by the way, congrats on that win the other day, have 2-0s against you. So how do you feel going into your match this coming week with UARC, and then after you're done with that, Floor is yours for shoutouts.
Yeah, UARC's a pretty solid team. I mean, we played them really early on in the season, and I don't think we hadn't ever played them before. There wasn't much history or experience there, so we kind of went into it in the dark. And I'm sure it's the same for them. Like they hadn't ever met us either, so it was kind of a feeling out game. And yeah, they had our number. I don't even think we really put up much of a fight in those 2 games, but yeah, it was early on in the season, and I think, as to some other teams would attest to, we're kind of hit or miss sometimes. So I'm just going to attribute it to it being one of our misses. But yeah, no, they're a solid team. Obviously, they've proven it. I think they're like 15-10 on maps, so that's pretty solid. But I think there's a little more history now, a little more background, so we'll be pretty confident going into that matchup. I wouldn't look at us as the underdog. It's probably closer to an even match, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, they're a solid team for sure.
I would generally tend to agree with you. I think it's going to be a fantastic match between both of you. I look forward to watching that one. Or casting it, I guess.
Really there's no easy matchup right now. Like if the Found Vikings have to play, who is it, Wood League? That's, if it is, I guess there's still matches to go, so it could be like Wood League or Zul'jin, but
that's correct. Yeah.
Either of those teams, like, that's insane. That's a really tough first round matchup. Wood League is, I think I don't want to be mistaken, but I think they won season 5. I think.
Unfortunately, I don't know.
Well, they were near I know they finished at the top of the standings. So like them and Zul'jin, I think were 1-2 or 1-2-3. So that's an incredibly tough first round matchup. So there's really no place you want to land. Every matchup's going to be tough.
This is a very competitive Div C.
Yeah, it's nuts. And do it right with Drew, which is sad, but they're an unbelievable team as well. So if they were here, it would have just made things even worse.
Right. Well, I very much appreciate that you took the time to come chat with me here. Anybody that you want to shout out?
Yeah, we'll shout out the spouses, wives, and fiancés who are like angrily sitting in their couches right now, waiting for us to finish up, wondering why we had to play for 3 hours. So, big shout out to them for patience.
Good deal. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And, as a moderator in a different division, I just want to say I appreciate that you were able to get all of your matches scheduled.
Yeah,
a little bit late, but, it happens. So congratulations on your win, on your 5th place seeding. And, we may very well see you at some point in the playoffs. So good luck in there.
Oh, yeah, you too. Looking forward to it.
All righty, man. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
Alrighty, and that is going to finish us up for the evening. Going to show those standings again, so not 100% positive I did all these right because I just added them in on the fly, but this is based on what I saw, based on these games that went through earlier, so it should be accurate if you compare it to the standings here when all these games get put in. So that puts Bancho at 5, Calculated Throw at 6, and Winky Face at 7. So the only slot remaining now is that 8th slot, and you'll have to tune in on Sunday to find out whether it's Wood League or Zul'jin Distillery that's going to bring in the final spot and go against the Found Vikings. Once again, my name is Arrow. I appreciate you staying up late or watching this VOD at another later time. And we are going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm not even going to say any taglines because it's late. We'll see you on the next cast. Have a great night.